But is today's security good enough for tomorrow?
Clearly, no.
The aggregator is the blood flowing through our veins.
Perhaps the set-top box is dead, but to be replaced by streamers.
Legacy always lasts longer than you think it will.
Drive customer experiences and create new opportunities for carriers to engage with their customers.
Open and free does not mean easy.
The network is like a living organism.
If I give you $100 million, what would you do with it?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this very early session, 8 a.m. I hope you all had your coffee. Hands up, who needs a coffee? Good, over there. Thank you for coming here. This is a part of the Connecting the Dots super track, a total of 9 panels. This is number 3 of it. And we're going to talk about blockchain and NFTs, but not the technical details. We're going to talk about use cases, what is stuff beyond the hype that really is deployable now. Although Gartner shows it, maybe it's still away a bit. We'll see. A few words, connecting dots, you saw in the trailer. We're working with thought leaders and innovators that share the tips, insights, and learnings. My name is Andy Waltenspiel, and I'm running a Munich, Germany-based consultancy that works with the likes of Deutsche Telekom, Vodafone, and some of these guys, and outstanding vendors, some of them that are features in these panels with Yplay and Dominic here, for example. Good, so big applause for Dominic and Todd. Thanks for joining us here. Good morning. Good, so maybe Dominic, you start. A few words about yourself and your company.
Okay. Hello, my name is Dominic Ferrel. I'm Chief Sales and Marketing Officer of Yplay and co-founder of the company. At Yplay, we are system integrators for big tier 1 operators, Canal+, Vivendi in France, Telefonica, DirecTV Latam, Sky in Brazil, Sky in New Zealand. So we help them to build their product, RDK, Android TV, mainly on the set-top box on the client side. And I'm here today to talk about a new solution that we are providing to such TV operators to increase or to add, I would say, new services for their subscriber, but we will talk about this.
Yeah, don't give away everything in the introduction, huh? Todd, a few words about yourself and Soma Innovation Lab.
Sure. So I'm Chief Strategy Officer at Soma Innovation Lab, and we do take brands into metaverse, NFT, Web3 projects, help them bridge into that world. I also work as a board advisor for a DeFi startup, as well as Club Gaia, which is an organization that's doing animation studio work, and with that we're trying to innovate with the Indian children's education market and taking education to India in a representative way with their own representative people from India to educate the children there, and we're doing funding models with that with NFTs.
Very good, very good. So, we want to start the early morning with a little poll. So first, who of you are working for an operator, network service provider? Almost everybody. Fantastic. So, what is the average age of your customer base? Let's say, hands up for 40 plus. Hands up for 50 plus. More hands, okay. And who would say that it's easy to reach the 20 to 30, or let's say the 16 to 30? Nobody, okay. That's one of the things we want to talk about today. This age group is cord cutting, they move away from the big screen, they do stuff on their phone, and they want to play with interesting stuff, and that's what we're here for. We're not going to talk about the blockchain and ledgers and smart contracts too much, maybe just some little foundation, but it's really what are the use cases. And Dominic, I mean, you started this project at Yplay. What are discussions you're having with the likes of Canal+ and the big guys? What's in there for them with blockchain and NFTs?
So as you said, the blockchain or NFT is not the solution, it's a tool. So going back to your question for the pool, Talking with our services provider, what they share with us is that if it's, for the case of Canal Plus in France, the average is 53. For DirecTV in Latam, it's 55. So the main issue they have is addressing a younger audience and improve the loyalty of this audience, avoiding them to switch from one service provider to another one. So it was really the key target, the young audience and the loyalty programs.
Okay. I mean, we heard in the news, Netflix, Sony, Warner, all of them are experimenting with NFTs, some for the same reasons, and others, and want to be seen as innovators. Is this something that is just for the big giants to do it, or can anyone do it?
Anyone can do it. You can do it for any service provider, I would say, starting at 50K subs. So there is no question of size to handle it. I think that perhaps, first of all, we can just have a look on NFT and explain or...
Yeah, so Todd, maybe you're the expert there.
Sure.
In non-jargon words, what, if you can, what is an NFT?
Yeah, and to your point earlier, I think one of the things, please don't be turned off in the news when you hear about, you know, the Bored Ape Yacht Club and the $96 million Beeple sale. You know, a lot of people immediately shut down on the technology because they feel that this is a trend, it's a fad, it's going to go away. I feel that with cryptocurrencies and with NFTs, 95% of those projects are going to go to zero. You know, you're not going to see Squid Game's cryptocurrency lasting for the next 100 years. So I think that's a process that's going to happen with this technology curve. But I think if you look beyond the hype and focus on the core technology behind these things, I think that is going to change our society. And so as you look at things like blockchain, which is a distributed database, which is immutable, that provides, and it uses a digital ledger that's distributed across that network. So, you know, go back to stone tablets. It's literally the basics of stone tablets, but those records of who owns it, who transferred it to them, how much was the cost, when did that take place, but those are immutable, so those are going to be the bedrock of things like currency exchanges, ad exchanges, all these different things. And NFTs, you know, yes, they can be something like a profile picture. That can also be something like with Top Shot's images and videos. It can be digital twins and things like that. But it could also things like your health record that will go with you for your entire life, or a record of your education, or a record of your mortgage, government records, things like that. As we go to a global digital society, this mass collaboration can only be achieved with tools like these. So please, I beg you to go to YouTube, go to Twitter, and do some research on these things, because you have people like MIT and other major institutions that have free courses that you can take and kind of take a dive into this area. And it's one of those things where I feel once you know about it, you can't unknow it, and it's going to change the way you think about a lot of topics.
So, thank you. So, can I see an NFT simply as it's a digital asset that I always know without doubt who owns it and when and where was it bought, right? Maybe that's the simple version of it.
Very simple. Yeah.
It's a property title for a digital asset. So the NFT will say that you, Andy, is the owner of such asset. So if we apply the NFT definition in the ecosystem of services provider, it could refer to a poster of football player, basketball player, an actor, a short sequence, uncut scenes, everything which is related to an event. It could be a live event, it could be a series, and in the example you gave talking about Netflix, so they launched NFT related to the Stranger Things series.
Yeah.
Sony, they did it with the latest, it was Spider-Man and Ghostbusters. Warner, it was with Matrix. So for all those examples, they created such image, short, uncut scenes, and so on, which have been sold. and the number of NFT is limited. So they define a pricing, they define a number of copies to be produced and sold to the end users, to the subscribers.
Mm-hmm. So Todd, you said or recommended the audience go on YouTube, learn about it, take courses. Does that work when you talk to Canal Plus? I guess no. So do they have to be experts to do it, or you take out the complexity? I mean, do you need to become an expert in NFTs and blockchain? Do they need to do it themselves, or how does it work?
No, in fact, the way of implementing such a marketplace to trade NFT is something which is easily connected to an existing platform. So by providing a solution which is called community, we do not ask to change anything. They keep all their backend, the CMS, the SMS, they keep the CDN distribution as well as the client running on the cross-device solution. We just provide the API, they connect. So it's really quite easy. Mm-hmm. In less than 3 months, you can start a POC and see how it works.
Okay. So let's talk about some of the use cases that operators are exploring these days. Can you give some examples?
Yeah, but
of
we can dive a bit on this. So as I told you, the 3 main pillars are NFT trading, loyalty improvement, and because we are using a mesh mechanism, we can improve the video delivery by decreasing the CDN use. And all these 3 pillars rely on the blockchain mechanism, on the way that everything is decentralized. And it's working perfectly in a centralized approach. So by doing this, it's that we are using decentralized technologies for a service provider. Does not mean that he has to be open, go to public with blockchain and so on. So we hide all this complexity. So going back to the use cases, when you will provide a list of content, new series, new movies, and so on, you have often related content. In the same approach, you will have related NFTs. So when you want to see a movie, you will have a list of NFTs associated to the movie that you want to see, and you can purchase such NFT. So clearly, this solution is targeting the fan, the collectors, and in some way, some speculators as well, because if they want to buy and to resell. And what we provide to the service provider is their marketplace. So it means that within the operator user interface, you can purchase content, but you can as well try to resell. So it will give a lot of freedom to the subscriber, meaning that they will have the opportunity to play, which was not the case till now. The case today was, I can see content, I'm a bit of slave of the service provider, and I can purchase, okay, but it's done. Now, with this, you can purchase content, you can watch those content, and you can resell those content, and if you can, perhaps make some money on this. So this is the first part, the NFT trading. The second part is the loyalty. So one of the key points which has been raised by all the services provider that we were talking with was how to improve the loyalty of my subs. And again, using the blockchain mechanism, we can provide some coin if the subscriber is pitching on social network the content is watching. So I'm pitching, I receive coin. I'm co-opting friends and family, I receive coin. I'm sharing content due to the mesh mechanism, I receive coins.
You invite somebody for a watch together session, you get points.
Exactly.
Okay.
And these points or coin will help me to purchase new asset. So by doing this, it's like
Air miles.
Air miles. Exactly. it's an Air miles program, exactly. And you can decide to keep the mile inside your community. We have some discussion with services provider. Do I authorize the cash out of miles? And again, it's a case-by-case discussion. There is no defined rule. Each service provider will define what will be the strategy they will adopt.
And point number 3 was, you mentioned the CDN.
Yes.
So this becomes a peer-to-peer network, and I can become a restreamer of the content?
Exactly. So it's not exactly the same peer-to-peer mechanism, but I would say high level, this is the same mechanism. So and it's working perfectly for live events with audience. So sports, show, and so on. And in this situation, each user is a node in the network. So it means that if I'm receiving a live content and you thought you want to see the same content, the algorithm will detect that if it's better for you to go directly to the CDN or to receive the content from me. And in this case, we see a significant improvement on CDN sizing. So for peak events with large audience, we can reduce by 50 or 60% the CDN sizing, which is huge.
Which is indeed huge. Todd, on your side, what are some of the key use cases your customers are discussing with you?
Sure.
Why would they do that?
Sure. So Dom already mentioned a number of the things regarding loyalty. So I believe the real currency in Web3 and in moving forward is community and subscribers. And one of the things I would say to this type of an audience is you have a leg up on a lot of the people that are trying to capitalize in this market because you have the audience currently. So one of the problems, or not problems, obstacles and things that you have to overcome when you go into this space as it exists currently is how do you get the adoption of that community and how do you reduce friction. Currently, as a number of you are probably aware, getting a wallet, having cryptocurrencies to be able even to start in this game to begin with is an obstacle because a lot of people feel I have to be a computer programmer to do this. So there are a number of ways to overcome that. And for people, for example, at this conference, they already have a commercial relationship with that community. So being able to capitalize on what's going on with blockchain, with NFTs, with loyalty, with IP rights, with being able to do blockchain linked ads and things and use Dom's platform and a number of other platforms, you have a huge leg up because you can introduce these new concepts to them in a non-threatening way, bridge them into this world in a way that the people who are trying to come up from blank slate have a lot longer road to get there.
Okay. Quick poll to the audience. In your operator life, not privately, are you experimenting, any of you already, with blockchain NFTs? Hands up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. So this is not this is called connecting the dots. It's not just the name of the program. It's also what we want to do. So if you're interested with idea exchange, please find these two gentlemen after the session. They're not running away. Good. Okay. So I'm Comcast. I'm Deutsche Telekom. I have an existing network. It runs my service delivery platform, my backend. Aren't some of the guys fearing that, do I need to change everything? Isn't that complicated? I don't want that.
It's a good point. The way it works is that we easily connect to the backend and to the client application, and there is nothing to change. So you keep your existing providers for the backend component, for the application running on your cross-device solution, and it's just an API connection. And what Todd said is really important regarding the adoption of such solution. Today, if you want to play with NFT, it's not easy for everyone to create a wallet. Okay, you can do it, but it's not easy. It's, I would say, for techies, and we are all a bit techies in this room. So if you want to have a mainstream solution, and if the one-click purchase is the same for the VOD than for the NFT, you will reach your targets. Okay, so you will be able to add easily NFT trading and loyalty program inside your solution.
So then it's an extension of what I do today.
Yes, exactly. You will add new services within your offering. So you will keep the live, the VOD, the SVOD, and so on. And on top of this, you will have new type of content which will be proposed to you through the user interface.
Okay.
So it's really mainstream. Yeah.
Do you have some data, some statistics on, especially for the younger age group, how much do they experiment with blockchain NFTs? What's the growth trajectory? And I mean, is it Is it an assumption that you still have to test that this will generate loyalty? Or do we have some key data points that we can refer to?
What we can share is today when you want to purchase or to trade NFT, you will go to some open marketplace. The most known is OpenSea. And when you look at the audience on OpenSea, we are talking about people from 20 to 30. So clearly this is the average age of people playing with OpenSea. I don't know, Todd, if you have other data to share.
Yeah, I think it's a nascent market. So the number of wallets that are actually purchasing these items is still relatively low. And as I mentioned before, the key now to create mass adoption is to reduce friction in this area. But the key thing is, when we did the survey earlier and we talked about the average age of the subscribers of the people in this room, 50 was a marker and up for a number of that audience. It's because when you're going after Gen Zs, the digital natives, you don't have to preach to them any of these topics. With the 50-year-olds, you have to educate them, you have to reduce friction, and you have to help them bridge into this world. With the digital natives, your children are already in this world. They're already buying NFTs in their games. And if you notice them on their televisions playing their games, they're not playing games. They're having social interaction with their friends on a cloud-based platform. And they're purchasing wearables, they're powering up, they're doing things like this. So to take those people into your world, that's going to be the easiest bridge that you can do, because there's no educating. You don't have to evangelize with them. They're digital natives and they grew up that way.
So let's say I'm an old school operator and I said, well, why do I need that? I have my assets, they're encrypted with DRM, I distribute them already. What changes really? But what changes is the mindset of the gambling element, the new technology, and it's available on any devices. I mean, where is the magic?
We do not touch the existing delivery mechanism. Even we are using a type of peer-to-peer networks. You will still use the same DRM to distribute your content, so it's totally transparent. The way that the content is distributed, we just improved the CDN sizing by doing this mechanism. Yep. And on top of the existing and legacy type of content, I would say, that are distributed, you will have new type of content with such NFT. So it could be images, short video that you can purchase on your device. And one point which is interesting to add as well is that you can change as well the way that the advertising is managed on your set-top box or on your mobile devices. We are currently doing a proof of concept with a service provider where they are testing the watch ads to earn. The point is that instead of providing advertising without involving the subscriber, you explain to the subscriber that if he's watching the advertising in a transparent way, so he will get some coins. So in the same approach that I'm doing some actions, I'm sharing with my friends and so on, if I watch an advertising till the end, I can get some coin. So it's not more the situation where the money was only between the brand and the service provider, and you're the product. Yes, you're still the product, but because you played the game, you will gain something.
That's an interesting one. I mean, we talked about fast channels and advertising-based tiers, where so far it is, okay, I get a cheaper price and I have to watch advertising. Now you give the user a bit control and say, okay, if you intentionally watch more and until the end, you can even further reduce your price.
Exact.
That you pay for the subscription.
Exact, yeah.
That's a cool one. Okay, so I'm an operator, I want to start. What do I need to do?
just have a meeting. No, as I told you, in less than 3 months, we can connect our platform. This platform could be on-prem or in the cloud, and starting a type of POC with a limited number of users for the TV operator to manage everything. So it's quite easy to test and see how their subscriber are reacting to this type of new offering.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any prerequisites? It seems like whatever you have, you just connect to the APIs. You have some integration work.
Now, so this is the technical point. There is another subject which is key as well, is what type of content you want to distribute on your network.
Mm-hmm.
And we see a lot of type of content. It could be related NFT linked to the movie or the series, but it could be the aggregation of any type of art. It could be some local painters that can propose their content on your platform.
So it could be user-generated content as well?
It could be user-generated content. You know, today I'm an end user. I'm posting on YouTube, on TikTok, and so on. Why the platform cannot be a way to expose such content?
Mm-hmm.
So you can really increase the type of content made available for your subscriber. And if today you have young subs going on YouTube, it could be a good idea for you as a service provider to add this type of content on your platform.
Yeah, let's talk about content. Several of the big operators are content aggregators. They don't own the content. Mm-hmm. Does it mean in order to allow the user to resell some of the assets, they will need to change the contracts with the content providers?
Yeah, so today a service provider, as you said, is a super aggregator. They sign deals with studios, mm-hmm. and they distribute. So they have a right of distribution. With NFT, it's exactly the same stuff. The NFT can be created by the service provider under the control of the studio or vice versa. And they will add, in terms of distribution, the NFT to the video content. Mm-hmm. So they will become super aggregators of existing video series and so on, and NFTs. So okay. It's an evolution. You enlarge, I would say, the type of service that you distribute.
Okay, and the content owners, are they open for that way of new distribution? Is it part of the standard contracts already?
It's not part. So this is, we are talking with services provider and discussing with studios on this. When you look at the Warner, Sony, those studios are distributing their content with the super aggregator. And for me, it's a no-brainer. Why these guys are doing this? Because, as Todd said, the service provider has the audience.
Yeah.
So they want to go through the super aggregator because the super aggregator has a captive audience. So it's in the same way that they can add the NFT to the overall offering.
Okay. From your side, stuff to add. You speak with many different people. Is it challenging to get these content rights?
Yeah, it's you can't just cut and paste. You know, it's a real thought process to figure out how you want to position yourself. So as I've dealt with folks at Soma Innovation Lab, it's many times it's a brand moving into the metaverse space, for example, and mm-hmm. so you want to figure out NFTs, digital collectibles, e-commerce. How do you want to position? What are your targets? What are your goals? And as you position yourself, are you kind of dipping your toe in the water? So you want to start with maybe an NFT project for loyalty, or something that, do you want to go on the back end side and look at distribution, or look at digital rights management, or your ad chain? Or is it, like I just mentioned, you want to do wearables in a metaverse space that will help your community get more sticky engagement with subscribers? It's type of a thing. But it's really about just choosing to go in this direction and start to move, because I truly believe this is going to change everything for our society, and so educating yourself and starting to take a step into this realm and trying things, you know, experiment, pick a small project and make it actionable and go for it.
it seems to me this is not the way to address it is not you talk to the CTO and convince the CTO this is a cool technical project. This will probably go the wrong way. So you need marketing, content people, product, even advertising.
Yeah, usually what we do is that we discuss with the marketing team in charge of defining the product offering, and they involve quickly the technical team how to integrate and to make it live.
Okay. So we have quite a few minutes still left, 9. So if anybody has a question to these gentlemen, we have a microphone here. Just walk up, ask your question. Anybody with a question? I know it's early. Yeah. Please say your name and your company as well.
Sure. Good morning. My name is Sean Blake. I'm with BreezeLine. Question for you. So with the number of blockchains out there, talking about the balance of first mover advantage versus, waiting for the right technology to be there, maybe share your thoughts on, the barrier of cross-chain technologies and which one to build on and where do I go? I mean, at this point, nobody wants to build on Luna, right? So like, where are we building and when should we find the right people to build with?
Okay, so the way we act with the service provider is that we hide completely the technology and the difficulty of selecting what blockchain to handle such services. Basically, we propose 2 ways. One is a private approach, private blockchain, something which is completely managed by the service provider, or going to a public blockchain. In all the discussion we had till now, except one service provider, all decided to move with a private blockchain. So to have their own community, to manage everything. As we said, when we are talking about coin, we are not talking about a new currency. We are talking about a miles program. And in this way, everything is under control for the service provider. So having said that, it does not change the way that you can still provide NFT trading, you can still provide a royalty program and so on. So the fact that in a first step the blockchain could be private does not affect the type of services that you can deliver.
Just maybe a follow-up there. So on a private blockchain, I mean, who's the validators? Is it proof of stake, proof of work? Like maybe help me understand that perspective from the technology view. Maybe it's too deep and we can take it after if it makes sense.
We can work on fork on Ethereum. We can. There is no, I would say, no preferred path.
And just for the room, there are public blockchains, there are private blockchains. Ethereum is one of the major ones, but it had some issues with the early versions of it, and so there became things like Polygon, which is a tier 2 blockchain, which have solved some of the issues like speed, like cost, and things like that. So it's as you look at blockchains, as Dom said, there are a number of different things you can use to assess what's the best fit for you.
Okay, great. Thank you both. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean, for your question.
Hi, my name is Laura Engel. I'm a product manager for Metronet. We're an ISP. I came late, so I apologize if you covered this, but can you show any exact examples within our industry of any cable providers or ISPs that are using NFTs in a consumer-facing way, and how are they using that? Are there any examples?
So at this stage, I do not have any example of existing ISP, but I can give some example of NFT trading on video content done by studios such as Warner, Sony, Netflix, and so on, which have been done the past months.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anybody else with a question? Then I have one. So you said problems with early versions of some of the blockchains, and we hear about some hacks and stuff. What about security? Is that a big issue? Is that a concern of the operators you're talking to? Where do we stand?
Sure, security is always a concern. There are a number of providers in the space, Neoris Protocol, and a number of folks that are helping in that area. But one of the best components of the blockchain is that it's immutable and it's non-fungible. So the blocks are set up in a fashion where literally to make a change, once a block has been minted or been created, to reverse any one of those things is virtually impossible, because you would have to have over 51% consensus to be able to change anything in that. So that's why you're seeing things like these digital ledgers that support massive things like currencies, and why institutions like Walmart are doing their distribution on the blockchain, because it's simplifying things. It's providing complete transparency to the process and to the data, where anyone in this room can go and see these entries in the blockchain. So I think this is a huge improvement, and it's a huge step forward for everything from, as we said, government records to currencies.
Mm-hmm. What do you see, Domi?
I would like to add that we have patented the distributed DRM, which can be used on the video content delivered through the blockchain. It's an option, so talking with our service provider, they can still use the DRM that they were using to distribute the content, but they can use our patented distributed decentralized DRM on such mesh network. So we take care about the security.
And you've been working with security companies all your life, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's sum it up quickly, 3 minutes. Key takeaways and wrap up. Time to start is now.
Yeah.
Right, I think there's no time to wait. You made it to an 8 a.m. session, so don't miss the train of blockchain in your network and your market. I took notes. So 3 key pillars is the trading element, generating loyalty, taking peaks of the CDN. You will need to take care about your content rights.
Yeah, discussing with the studios that you are currently aggregating their content, yeah.
I can do a POC in 3 months. Yeah. So
be happy.
Be happy, seems easy. So find Dominique and Todd after the session. You had more questions, grab the guy. It was a pleasure to discuss with you. Thank you, Domi. Thank you, Todd. Big applause for the two. And thank you for coming to our session. The next session here, you might want to stay if you're interested in another cool technology. We're going to talk about digital twins, but not for technology, but for subscribers. So we're going to have the CEO of the NCTC, Lou Borelli, and Mathieu Fivas, who's just coming in the door, for a really cool topic about digital twins. Thank you.
Thanks.